look at the 9th shloka of Ashtavakra Gita. Ashtavakra says, the fire of understanding, the fire of understanding, I am the one awareness, burns down the forest of ignorance in an instant. Be happy and free from distress. So what Ashtavakra is telling us, go beyond misery right now. All unhappiness disappears when we realize that I am pure awareness. I am only the witness. I am only the observer. There is a beautiful poem of Rabindranath Tagore, At the Doorsteps of God. The poet has been searching for God for millions of lives. He has seen him sometimes far away near a star. And he started moving that way. But by the time he reached that star, God has moved to some other place. But he went on searching and searching. He was determined to find God's home. And the surprise of surprises was, one day he actually reached a house where on the door it was written, God's home. You can understand his ecstasy. You can understand his joy. He runs up the steps, and just as he is going to knock on the door, suddenly his hand freezes. An idea arises in him. If by chance this is really the home of God, then I'm finished. My seeking is finished. I have actually become identified with my seeking, with my search. I don't know anything else. If the door opens and I face God, I'm finished. The search is over. Then what? Then there is an eternity of boredom. No excitement, no discovery, no new challenge, because there cannot be any challenge greater than God. He actually starts trembling with fear. He takes his shoes off and descends back down the beautiful marble steps. He took the shoes off so that no noise was made, for his fear was that even a noise on the steps and God may open the door, although he had not knocked. And then he runs as fast as he has never run before. He used to think that he had been running after God as fast as he can. But today, suddenly, he finds energy which was never available to him before. He runs as he has never run, not looking back. The poem ends, I'm still searching for God. I know his home. So I avoid it and search everywhere else. The excitement is great. The challenge is great. And in my search, I continue to exist. The poet further says, God is a danger because I, the big I, will be annihilated. The poet says, but now I'm not afraid even of God because I know his home. So leaving his home aside, I go on searching for him all around the universe. And deep down, I know my search is not for God. My search is to nourish my ego. Friends, we all know, as Patriji used to say, Choda de puja, koi na duja. He said, leave worship aside, there is none other to worship. So it is, as in mysticism, they call it the dark night of the soul. It is those final stages before self-realization that the I gets annihilated. This is where the fear comes. The fear comes at the moment when you come to dissolve your last part. The I that we have identified with the body, the name, our status, our wealth, our belongings, our, everything to do with this world, that I gets annihilated. So the fear comes at the moment when you come to dissolve your last part, because it will then be irrevocable. You will not be able to come back. That is why Ashtavakra says, go beyond misery right now. All unhappiness disappears. When you realize this, that I am pure awareness, I am only the witness, I am only the observer. The only disease is the disease of the ego. There is an art to live this life in a different way, void of expectations, without demanding anything, filled with gratitude for whatever one has, in thankfulness. This is the technique of one who trusts. Ego is a contagious disease. There is a story which Osho narrates about contagious diseases. There was a family the whole family used to work in the movies. Once the father went to the family doctor and said, Dr. Sahib, my son is suffering from a contagious disease, scarlet fever. And he thinks it is from kissing the maid. The doctor said, that's fine, don't worry. Your son is young, so he'll be okay. The father became uneasy and said, you don't understand, doctor. The fact is, I also kissed the girl later. Then the doctor had to agree, things are getting complicated now. The father said, there are more complications, sir. Because after kissing the maid, I kissed my wife twice. Hearing this, the doctor actually jumped from his chair, crying, then we are all finished. I must have caught this infection too, because the doctor had actually kissed the man's wife. A disease like this goes on spreading. Ego is a contagious disease. When a child is born, he has no ego. He is absolutely egoless, innocent. He's an open book in which nothing is written, a blank book. Then letters are gradually inscribed. Then the ego is gradually created. Parents, family, society, school, university, all go on strengthening the ego. All our methods of education, our culture, our society, and civilization give birth to this one disease, give birth to the ego. And this ego pursues us like a ghost our whole life. If you want to know the real meaning of spirituality, of meditation, it is this. Meditation is nothing but the medicine for the disease given to you by society, culture, civilization. Meditation is anti-society, anti-culture, anti-civilization. Meditation is rebellion. Meditation is revolution. The whole meaning of meditation revolution is to drop what has been given to you by others, to drop what has been taught to you by others. We cling on to it, and that is our misery. It is our hell. Besides ego, there are no burdens in our life. Besides ego, there are no fetters, there are no chains. That is why Ashtavakra says, I am the one awareness. Thus, having burnt the forest of your ignorance with this fire of certainty and being beyond sorrow, be happy. Ego means mixing one's consciousness with something else. A man says, I'm intelligent. Now he's added ego to his consciousness. His consciousness becomes contaminated. Have you noticed when someone adds water to milk, we say the milk has been contaminated. If he says no, he says he's added only the purest water, you would still say it is contaminated. Whether the water was pure or impure is not the question. The question is water was added. It does not make any difference that we add pure water, the milk has still become contaminated. If you look a little closer, you see that it is not only the milk that has become impure, but the water has become impure as well. Separately, water and milk were both pure. Mixed, both are contaminated. Confusion arises from the mixing of opposites, from the mixing of different types. No sooner is consciousness added to something different than itself, you say you are intelligent. Intelligent is a mechanism. Use it, do not become an intellectual. This is real intelligence, not becoming an intellectual. When you say you are intelligent, the difficulty has already started, water in the milk. Then it doesn't make any difference how pure your intelligence is. When you say you are a person of character, water is added to milk. It doesn't make any difference how pure your character is. Bad or good character, both have egos. But in both conditions, consciousness is contaminated. Ashtavakra says, I am the one awareness. Therefore, he tells us I am neither intelligent, nor of great character, nor characterless. I am neither beautiful nor ugly. I am neither old nor young, neither white nor black, neither Hindu nor Muslim, neither a Brahmin nor a Sudra. I have no identification. I am the one who sees all this. When we light a lamp in the house, its light falls on the table, on the chair, on the wall, on the clock, on the furniture, on the cabinet, on the carpet, on the floor, and on the ceiling. It falls on all. If we are there, then it falls on us too. But the flame is neither the wall, nor the roof, nor the floor, nor the table or the chair. Everything is illumined by its light, but the light is separate. Pure consciousness is our light. It's our awareness. The light of our awareness falls on our intellect, on the body, on our actions, but we are not any of these. As long as we identify ourselves with anything, ego will arise. Ego is the identification of consciousness with something else. As soon as we drop all identification and we firmly believe that we are the pure awareness, then we begin to return to our home. The moment of liberation comes closer. Ashtavakra says, I am the one awareness, thus having burnt this fire with this fire of certainty. Ashtavakra impresses the basic truth that all there is consciousness. Therefore, there is no question of anyone becoming anything. There is no question of being bound. Therefore, no question of being liberated. There is really no question of anyone being a separate entity. No question of any object being this or that. Empty or even not empty, because it just is. There doesn't have to be any quality at all. Having said that I am pure consciousness, what Ashtavakra is emphasizing is the inexistence of any object, which out of ignorance we believe ourselves to be. Ashtavakra's intention is to return the mind to its source, the consciousness. The intention is clear: to stop the mind from objectifying and return it to its true center. The Guru is trying to bring about the conviction in the disciple that what he truly is, in reality, is the subjective, formless consciousness. This, he knows, can be done only by eliminating the mistaken identity, the pseudo subject of pseudo objects, the sole factor which obstructs our realization of our true identity. And this is what Ashtavakra says must be eliminated. Thank you, friends.